Good evening. Can I ask you all please stand for the pledge? Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our town board meeting. It's December 12th, 2023. First thing on our agenda tonight is public hearing. It's a continuation of the hearing for the preliminary 2024 budget. Anybody wishes to ask a question or in regards to the budget is welcome to do so at this time. Brian, is there anything that you wanted to add?
Yeah, can I just briefly say something?
Sure.
Yeah.
Brian is our town controller.
Good evening, Honorable Supervisor and Honorable Town Board. I just wanted to pick up from the last meeting. We didn't have many changes. We had just a couple of changes, 7 lines to be exact. Overall, we actually decreased the budget, the taxation, by about $3,000. So now we're slightly under the 2.5% tax increase for next year. All these documents were posted publicly and provided to the town clerk. So for tonight, we're looking forward to adopting the budget and heading into 2024.
When you say 2.5, when you calculate that out, it's under 2% though.
Yes, yeah, as explained last meeting, the tax cap is not always 2%. You have carry forward from prior years and other exclusions. So we're still in tax cap compliant, and this works out to about a $65 tax increase for about $1 million home in the community.
Okay, thank you, Brian.
Thank you.
Anyone else have any questions regarding the budget? If there be no further discussion, board members have any questions or comments?
Nice job, thank you.
As always, Brian, good work. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Yes.
If there be no further discussion, I would entertain a motion to close this public hearing.
So moved.
Motion by Tom,
Second.
second by Danielle. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item on the public hearing is to amend section 218-109 to rezone the Legion property 582-590 Columbus Avenue, aka section 112.16, block 1, lot 1, from OB1 zone to R3A zone, as well as text amendments to schedule regulations.
I can see her.
Can't see anything.
That's what James usually
We've
keeps
seen
moving
this
back and
enough.
forth on.
No, that's okay.
Is that okay?
We've
So
seen
the
it.
public can see it?
Yes,
Yeah.
the public
You've all
should
seen
see
it.
it.
Sure.
Yes,
Yeah, we've all
yes, we've
reviewed
seen
it.
it.
Intentionally.
Although I may need to, if it's okay with you all, wander a little bit so I can see the screen at the same time.
Like a game show host, yeah.
I am old enough to remember Monty Hall and all this one. Make sure I don't trip.
Brad, if you want, just take the stand too.
That's all right. All right. So good evening, everyone. I'm Brad Schwartz from the law firm of Zarin and Steinmetz, representing Toll Brothers. My partner David Steinmetz had another meeting tonight, so we're kind of tag teaming meetings. James Karras from JMC Engineering is here with me tonight, and Jack Lanneman from Toll Brothers will be here. He must be just running a little bit late. Kevin's on vacation. So we are here tonight for a public hearing on Toll Brothers' proposal to rezone a portion, a 96-acre portion of the Legion site to facilitate the redevelopment of that property for 162 age-restricted 3-bedroom townhomes. This is a presentation that we've given to the town board a few times during the early stages of your rezoning process. We've given a version of this to the planning board while it conducted an environmental review under SECRA. The planning board has completed that environmental review, issued a negative declaration, found that the project would not result in any adverse environmental impacts. So with SECRA complete, we're now here back before the town board and the public to resume the rezoning process. So if we dive in, so what specifically is the rezoning request? There are two requests, two asks of the town board to change the zoning for this property. The first is to rezone 96 acres from the OB1 Office Business District to the R3A zoning district. The reason for that is that multifamily housing isn't allowed under the OB1 regulations, so by changing 96 acres from OB1 to R3A, that would facilitate and allow the residential component. Why only 96 acres? It's a 162-acre site. As you'll see in a couple of slides from now, portions of the property will be dedicated to DEP, that's the New York City Department of Environmental Protection, for its preservation purposes, and another 18 acres will be dedicated to the town for municipal purposes. So there's not a need to rezone the portions of the property that would be conveyed to New York City, DEP, as well as to the town. So the rezoning from OB1 to R3A only applies to about 96 acres of the site. The second rezoning ask is a text change, a minor text change to reduce the separation distance that's required between the multifamily buildings from 75 feet to 25 feet. So it allows the buildings to be closer together, less disturbance, greater environmental protection, and it helps with the cluster design of the project. So those are the two asks: to rezone 96 acres from OB1 to R3A, and to reduce the separation distance between buildings from 75 feet to 25 feet. And we submit that these changes are consistent with the town's comprehensive plan, would facilitate the need for additional senior housing in the town, and a type of housing product that doesn't really exist in multifamily. As the comp plan recognizes, so much of the housing product in the town is the large lot, single family residential. This project is the smaller townhome cluster design, and again, targeted for the seniors, and the comprehensive plan recognized that there is a high demand for this type of housing product in the town for the 55 and over demographic. So big picture, the project, I mentioned the 162 units, active adult community. Again, the cluster design diminishes the environmental impact, less disturbance, greater environmental benefit. 55 and over translates to no school children, and there are legal documents that will be recorded that ensures of that restriction. It will be a fully amenitized project with a swimming pool, tennis courts. Flavor of the day is the pickleball courts, so those will be included in the project, bocce courts and other amenities. Importantly, $2.2 million annual net tax surplus would be generated by this project. Lion's share goes to the school, approximately $1.9 million. Again, that's on an annual basis, net surplus. So $1.9 million to the school, no additional school children to service. That's a tremendous benefit for the school and for the town. I'll walk over I don't have a pointer, but so we see the 162 townhomes kind of clustered, right, in this area of the property and over here. The 49 acres on this side of the site, this is the land that will be dedicated to DEP, and here the 18 acres to be dedicated to the town. A new sidewalk along Westlake Drive, an upgraded water distribution system that JMC is working on with Dave Smith, the town engineer. And also a 57-acre conservation easement would be imposed on the land that is not developed with the townhome units. So a lot of land to be preserved and protected, both through the conveyances of DEP, the town can use it for its municipal purposes, and a conservation easement would be placed on the land that's not developed by Toll Brothers. The conservation easement would also protect that land in perpetuity, no further development. This project, as many of you may know, is an evolution of a previously approved Baker subdivision project that was the more traditional single-family lots. And James, next slide. We submit that the Baker project, as it's evolved to the current configuration, is a benefit, right? Again, meeting the needs of the seniors, and as a result of the cluster design and the smaller townhome configuration, this is a greater environmental benefit. There will actually be 3 acres or so less disturbance under the Toll Brothers project that was already previously approved for Baker. So it's a housing product that will meet a strong demand in the town, less environmental disturbance, greater environmental benefit. We had shown some pictures, architectural renderings of the exterior of the homes, as well as some of the photos of the interior finishes. We had given approximate ranges of square footages, ranging from 2,400 to 2,800 square feet. Master bedrooms, first floor, again, to facilitate and targeted to accommodate the seniors. There would be some smaller units ranging from 1,800 to 2,200 square feet at a lower price point if the market demands that. I mentioned the fully amenitized project and all the different amenities that would be available. The HOA is mentioned on this slide. I should have mentioned earlier. Another benefit, all the internal roads would be privately owned, maintained by the HOA, no additional burden on the town's highway department. So that concludes our presentation. The next step in the process would be to conclude this rezoning process before your town board. And then after that's concluded, whether it's, I guess, sometime hopefully in January, we would then return to the planning board in February to resume the site plan and subdivision process before the planning board.
Thanks.
Well,
Anyone from the public have any questions you'd like to ask on this project?
You gotta come up, sir. You have to come to the
Come
microphone.
up to the mic, please. Did you sign in?
Does everything have to be another?
Excuse me. Excuse me,
I
sign
wasn't
up.
expecting
Did
to
you
be
sign
called
in?
You gotta sign in first. You gotta sign right there, your name.
down, Please.
Yeah, all right.
Everybody in town wants to know who you are.
All right, my name is Arthur Kraft. I'm from the town of Briarcliff. I live on the edge of the Bocantico Preserve. And does everything have to be another round of what they call townhouses? And if you look at how it dominates the landscape in Pleasantville along the Sawmill, does everything have to be another round of those?
I'm not following.
And does everything have to be townhouses? I mean, look, have you seen how the way it dominates the landscape in Pleasantville?
We don't have any in town, so this is,
No, I mean, it completely dominates the landscape.
we have nothing to do with Pleasantville. This is in the town of Mount Pleasant. This is on the Legionnaire's
But I'm
property.
saying it would look the same, it would be the same style.
I don't- What are you against, the style of them?
Yeah, does it have to be townhouses that block the view and dominate the landscape? If you look what happens in Pleasantville along the Sawmill.
No, that's a totally different project.
Yeah, but
That's
it's
a
the same style
multifamily
of-
apartment building. That's not townhomes. That's an apartment house. It's not what we're trying to do here, nor do we want anything like that.
And sometimes I start to think, they use the schools as a way to push these things through for the.
This has been discussed for many years now. The challenge before with the Baker project was the addition of school children to the district.
But I think in general, sometimes they use property value for the schools as a way to push through projects that a lot of people don't want
So
environmentally.
We're not here to push through anything. We're here to discuss the project, and if you have any, thoughts on it, you're welcome to offer them to us. This is not a multi-family, multi-story building.
I mean, in general, with construction projects around here, I think they use it as an excuse for pushing through projects that are environmentally destructive, things like that.
Well, we have been discussing this for quite a while. We felt that environmentally, this is probably less intrusive on this property than the previous plans. There's a lot of green space that's preserved on this project.
What about building regular houses instead of the same type of townhouse style?
That was a proposal before that did not go through. The developer at the time did not want to follow through with that project. We were trying to find something that was more advantageous, maybe our senior population. Masters on the first floor.
Well, it's just general that the roads are already kind of overloaded with traffic. You got one-lane roads with trucks.
You have a piece of property, there are rights to develop a property. We're trying to be as careful about how we develop this property as possible. Traffic is another issue we're going to be dealing with. We're looking to start a committee to evaluate traffic within the town of Mount Pleasant. You know, one of the blessings and the faults of Mount Pleasant is that every major highway goes through Mount Pleasant, the rail system, bus system. It's a challenge, and we can't just tell people you can't come through Mount Pleasant. That's something we're going to work on.
And what about the affordability of these things?
That's up to the market. We have no control over the cost of what they're going to be. The market will determine what the cost will be.
Okay.
Building affordable.
Thank you.
Hello. I'll just point out two things. I'm a member of Mount Pleasant CAC and also an employee of an affiliate of a developer that was working with Toll Brothers early on in this project.
Just say your name, we know who you
Yeah,
are.
WBP Development. I work for their builders group. I had very little involvement with this project. I can't figure out.
And your name, please?
Gibson Craig.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I'm actually not going to say anything really about the development specifically, except for the zoning requests for the R3A. With the amount of acreage left on the site, the process in creating the zoning change, I think may be, again, and I'm not part of any kind of understanding the legal nature of the zoning change, might be too simplistic. And not to say the Toll Brothers will go away in 5 years, but say this development does not get built, right? Or say this piece of property was an R3A before Toll Brothers showed up. As of right, the unit count would be higher than what they're proposing. So I think the nuance of the zoning change just needs to be thought about if in case Toll Brothers does not happen, to prevent, say, 300 units from being built. Because I think you're leaving 50 acres. So 50 acres, I think you're allowed 1 unit per 3,500 square feet. So, you know, you do the math. I think it's 500 units. You know, I know that there's natural barriers, there's parking constraints. Realistically, maybe you could fit 300 units on a site of 50 acres as of right. But it's just something to be careful about. And I'm not gonna say anything else about the development other than I think it would be nice if there was a walking trail. You know, it's close to a big parking lot, the town pool. That's all I have to say.
Gibson, I'm not following you, and can you just
So the
clarify for the
R3A
public?
zoning, if you look at the language, it allows 1 multifamily unit per 3,500 square feet
Correct.
of lot area. So if 50 acres are left, you times it by 45,000 and change, and divide it by 3,500, you get a hypothetical unit count, right?
I see.
So, working backwards, you know, a townhome, 5 townhomes, might be, I don't know, 30 times 150 feet long, say, I don't know, 50, 60 feet wide. You can double load a corridor. One of those clusters of townhomes technically could become 15 apartments, 20 apartments in the same amount of space, right? So while the development sounds great, I hope it gets done. Just think about the parcel and the legal order of changing it to an R3A zone. And what might happen if Toll Brothers isn't here in 5 years.
But, question,
Yeah.
we're approving a subdivision based on this zoning.
Right.
Total amount of units and all that, that's what we're approving. Now, I can see if maybe another parcel in town wants to use the same type of zoning, can that be exaggerated to some degree? What we're approving is based on a proposal that was given to us.
I understand. I'm just saying, if the parcel is rezoned, the parcel is rezoned, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So any new development could come in the future.
Yeah, but it would have to go
It
before.
would have to go through the proper process.
Through the planning board. Right
Right.
now,
But again, what I'm saying is, the simple nature of the zoning change is very simple and easy, right? It's, the parcel is not an R3A right now. Parcel is whatever it is.
OB1.
Right. So think about if it was an R3A now, what might be proposed to you?
but that's not the case. When it goes before the planning board, it's specifically in the resolution, is going to say 162 units. And it's, A, it's going to be successful. B, another applicant would have to go through the process again. So
Right.
what you're saying theoretically is very interesting.
I just, yeah,
It's
you,
definitely not going to happen
and that's
because
something that I just want to make sure that you guys are thinking about.
I think I understand what you're saying, and I would ask Toll Brothers to come up and speak to that. They are, and my understanding as a town board member, have sitting with them for at least the last year, if not before that, that they do intend to make good on their plans and to go ahead with this project. What I'm picking up from you, and I could be wrong, is that you fear at the end of the build-out of Toll Brothers, when the units have been sold.
No, I'm not fearing that at all.
No, that's not what
Okay.
he's saying.
No, that another developer can come in with the other 50 units that aren't, 50
No,
acres
no.
that aren't developed?
Nope.
So I'm not understanding you, Gibson.
No, what I'm
I-
understanding is, no, I'm sorry. If the development were not to happen
If it were not to happen,
after the rezoning.
Right.
after the rezone,
Right.
I see. I see.
Well,
His
the-
concern
the-
is the rezoning is granted, Toll Brothers says, we don't want to do this project, they walk, and somebody else, another developer comes in and says, okay, it's rezoned, I'm going to put 50 units.
They would
I'm gonna
have
put-
to.
That's his concern.
Instead of
The
162,
rezoning is
yes,
specifically
I
for
get
this
it.
project. They'd have to
Right.
start the
The
process
rezoning
again.
is
If it's for
specific to the project.
That's great.
It's for this
Yeah.
If
project.
it's for the parcel, it's different.
It's for
Right.
this
It's
project.
specific for this project.
Okay. That's my only comment.
Okay.
And also a walking
It's a good
trail.
point.
A walking trail would be
A
really
walking
nice.
trail, I hear you, but I appreciate what you brought up, and now I fully understand what you're saying. Thank you.
Sorry if I wasn't.
No,
Thank
that's
you.
okay.
Brad, did you want to elaborate on it? or-
No, I think you answered the question.
Okay,
Perfect.
thank you. Anybody else have a question regarding this project?
Bless you.
If there are no further comments regarding this Toll Brothers project, I would entertain a motion to close this public hearing.
So moved to close the public hearing.
Motion by Lori,
Second.
second by Danielle. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Going to the supervisor's report, the first thing would be authorization to adopt the final 2024 budget.
Good night, thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, good night.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
We haven't approved it yet, right?
Close the hearing. Thank you all for coming out.
Why do you, all these people?
No questions.
Thank you.
We'll answer questions outside, so they can resume the,
I know the
Okay.
Toll Brothers contribute to the Metropolitan Opera. Do they know anything about music?
House.
I said, I noticed they contribute to the, they donate to the opera. Do they know anything about music? What? I don't know why. And do they know anything about music when they donate to the opera? Or are they just told to donate? Do the Toll Brothers know anything about music? Yes. We want to move on.
Okay,
to
good
the
night.
agenda.
Thank you. Good night, sir. Good night.
That's, sir, we'd like to move on with our meeting.
All right. You're welcome to talk to them outside.
Thank you.
What is he?
Have a good night.
As far as the authorization to adopt the 2024 budget, Resolution 45123. Need a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Danielle,
Second.
second by Tom. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item, authorization to rezone the property that we just discussed. That's resolution 452-23. It's going from an LB1 office business to an R3A multifamily residential.
Make a motion for approval, please.
Motion by Tom,
Second.
second by Lori. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item is authorization to obtain bids for the elevator upgrade. The elevator in this town hall is the original. We've had considerable amount of trouble with it over the years. So we want to be posting this. The bid specs will be posted through the town clerk's office on December 18th, 2023, and will be available in the town clerk's office on the same day. Bid opening will be January 19th, 2024 at 11 a.m. in the building department's conference room. So this resolution will authorize us to obtain bids for the elevator upgrade.
Move for approval, please.
It's
a toss-up.
Danielle, and second by Lori.
Oh, wonderful.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Next item is authorization for Gianfranco Affronti to take the New York State DEC endorsed 4-hour erosion and sediment control online training course for $250. The certification will assist Gianfranco as a junior engineer as well as the town and is viable for 3 years from the date of training is completed. We always support training of any of our departments. So, Resolution 454 will authorize Gianfranco to take this training.
Move for approval, please.
Motion by Tom.
Second.
You practicing this? or what?
Yeah, I think so.
Second by Danielle. All in favor?
Okay.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item is authorization to appoint Greg Hayden to the Industrial Development Agency effective December 13th, 2023. Greg is a resident of Sleepy Hollow. Since I've been involved with the Industrial Development Agency since 1989, we have always maintained residents from the Sleepy Hollow area to represent anything that happens in Sleepy Hollow. So this resolution will approve Greg Hayden as a new member of the Industrial Development Agency to replace the resignation of Jim Hustleby, who was from Sleepy Hollow also.
Move for approval, please.
Motion by Lori,
Second.
second by Tom. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Investment report, the current rate of interest is 5.35%. At this time, we have business from the board. Anyone who wishes to address the board is welcome to do so at this time. No comments from the public?
Did you want to speak?
Yes, oh my, I thought you were ahead of me. No, okay, I don't want to crash the crowd here, I came in here and everybody left, I don't know.
Do they know you, Doc?
How you doing, Doctor?
Call them as my friends or something. My name is Dr. Charles Keller, number 8, High Cleveland.
You
Okay.
signed in, yeah?
Since 64. I
Wow.
haven't left town at all. I just lived since 64. The reason I'm here is because I know it's a private road. He even knows it's a private road. And that means that the town says we're special. We don't belong there because we're private, so that we don't get any services, right?
Not necessarily.
Well, I know. Now that's the big issue here. We have a dangerous situation, a situation here where from the good people upriver, Mount Pleasant citizens, are throwing their housewares, their trees, their whatnot, into Clove Brook, which comes down to Highclere Lane. And Highclere Lane is serviced by a road. I know he's interested. Serviced by a road and a bridge. And without that road and a bridge, we starve there. You'll have to fly, parachute food in there, some darn thing, because that's the only way we can get there. Now, we have a budget that cleans up the collection of logs, and by God, what water pressure can do, you ought to see, logs from here to that wall there, this big. Water pressure from upstream can come down there. And so we have hired crew, chop it up and get it out of there when it's down there. However, there's always a however. And the however is that this stuff, a lot of this small stuff, collects in the culvert, under the bridge. That's a distance of from here to the door, maybe a little less. Yeah, no? Under the bridge, on road. Now, what's wrong with that? Well, at the north side of that bridging area, you have the water pursuing down here, and there's two culverts. A culvert is a hole. You know, hole in the culvert. About 3 foot diameter, 3'6", 7 diameter. And when the logs and debris and whatnot gets trapped in that area, this becomes a lake. Right now there's a lake there, the waterfall that we had this past weekend produced about a 5-foot lake. At one time a 12-foot lake. Now, one could say, well, you got a lake there, why don't you use a swimming pool? Yeah, right. No, because the problem is that as the water collects, and it doesn't go through the culvert, we have a retaining wall. Get the picture? A retaining wall for this bridge and road. And that water, as you see right now, over the weekend, up and over the wall, and what happens then to the dirt and the mud and everything up there? The branches get wiped away. We rebuilt that bridge 20, 30 years ago, and I have movies of it when it was washed out. It was washed out because it wasn't really fully supported on the sides, which we did do again. And that's the problem right now, because the water hits that culvert, it's full up, boom, eats out the bridge. As I say, we clean up here. We got a budget, $2,000 last year. We have just had a meeting Wednesday night at this place called, what's that, Sergio's? Is that
Right down the street?
On Highclere Lane?
Yes.
Sergio's.
Yes.
Come on, Todd, you know Sergio. We had a big meeting up there. We've had many meetings up there. And good guy. Jerry's a good guy. He's really a good citizen, because he is a member of Highclere Lane Association. We have great people from Highclere Association. You know, there's a memorial in town. If you drive through slowly on the left side, who is there, Carl? 2 Highclere residents are memorialized right here in our village. Carl, Pfister, Phil, Egan, they're the people that sat up here on this board.
Wow.
They're Highclere Lane people.
Wow.
Thank you.
Let me ask you a question.
Please.
The debris that's coming down.
Yes.
Is it from Highclere Lane residents or other
No.
residents?
Good question. That's just the question I wanted to ask. No, it's from up the brook, all the way up. And that brook goes all the way up, and that is where it's coming from. It's not from
The brook runs north and south. right?
north and south. Correct. And it's supposed to go through those culverts, but it ain't going through there now, you know, and that is the problem. Now, we clean up out here. We like to do that. We get a night, you know, okay. But we can't go in there. So today I called up, I had a thought. Every now and again, Carl, rare, you know. I said, let me call the town engineer. And we'll get some idea of what's going on. Well, I have a list here, and by the way, I appreciate being here because I called 6 people, different ones last week, to try to get an audience here. Just
I tried to call you back. Did you get my message that I called you?
I think on a voicemail. Yeah, I didn't know it was you or somebody, but in any event, thanks, appreciate that. I got 6 callbacks, you know, and I haven't heard. So I thought, well, maybe if we get the engineer, he'll come at least to give us some idea of what to do with this problem, with this blocked culvert area that's, as I say, about, 30 yards long. By the way, I've been in past years in through that culvert, and in the road portion in the middle is actually a concrete dome that must be 100 years old. And you can actually almost stand in there, almost. It's we've been in there over the years when it wasn't really jammed up with debris and tried to get some out and so forth. And so that's the construction of it. And then we added to the sides and put the piping in on the both sides, north and south, for the water to flow. So that was a thought I had today about getting an engineer in there, perhaps seeing what can be done. Now, I'm a little offended by this business because I did hear from Rick. I'm sorry,
Rich.
Rich
Yeah.
Bankley.
Rich, I'm sorry, Rick, about, told me, it's a private road, we can't go. Well, look, Rich is responsible for building, I read in one of your publications, something like, I don't know, 7 miles of highway road work, I don't know, enough road to go from here to the moon and back, you know, great job. Well, we didn't get any of that road, but we paid for it, you know, we paid. We don't get the services, but we do have the same taxes. Huh?
That's a tricky question, because I researched that, because I was concerned about that. It's not necessarily true. You're paying highway taxes because after you leave Highclere Lane, you're driving on highways that the town maintains. So I can understand your point about Highclere Lane. My concern is where the debris is coming from.
Absolutely, that's my concern.
Do we identify the people that maybe are throwing things in there? Is it branches that are falling? It's a very heavily wooded area, I understand that.
Yeah.
Are these branches falling in there and creating a problem? Well, there are some natural things that we may not have any control over.
There's a lot of unnatural things, a lot of plastic bottles, balls, all kinds of debris. And it's moved very well with that water pressure. Boy, you'd be surprised what big things move through that road.
It might be something where we have to address the people who are alongside that brook, maintaining the edge of that brook on their property.
That would certainly be welcome. You know, as far as that goes, it certainly would. But I'd like to address the situation that exists right now as to how to clean out that culvert. That's the thing, because that's gotten worse over the years. We as I mentioned before, I've actually been in there with my 2 sons. We went in there, the youngsters and so forth. But that's not possible today. It's just plugged up. I don't know exactly what to do in a way of. I mentioned it to Rich about last year. This is an ongoing thing. Last year about some sort of a boom crane on the bridge and reaching down and trying to. Oh, well, he says, no, there's wires across the bridge. Oh, well, I don't know. Maybe you can get other one, but I don't know. I'm not an engineer. I'm not an engineer. I know how to lift logs badly. But so that's the problem. I represent 25 families on Highclere Lane, and I can assure you they're all concerned. Wednesday night was one of the major subjects we had at
Sergio's.
Right. They're concerned, you know. We have other concerns too. People not paying their dues. That's what it is.
Can't help you with that.
Yeah.
Doc,
I don't want to
very much understand the situation.
I appreciate
Our
that.
challenge is when we use town personnel and equipment on private roads, we become liable for whatever could happen there. So it's a tricky situation, and I'm not saying we can't help you. Maybe there is something we can do to help a little bit, but we cannot get into business of maintaining that brook.
No, and the brook itself, I agree. You know, maintaining the brook is, you know.
But if there's an initial maybe if we could help maybe with some initial cleaning to get it to a
That,
point.
that would, you see, that would be the point, Carl, to get the stuff clean. I mean, we've had it for many years, but it never got this bad. And as I say, we maintain out to try to prevent it. I broke my back in a log pile as big as this desk here last spring, and lo and behold, the rain came along, woof, wiped it all out, the road, and the culvert. So it's that's this problem. I think once the culvert is cleared, see, then we'll have a natural flow of water, and we can maintain it as it should be. But right now, it's beyond us. I don't know how we can get in there and do that. We do the outside, but that's the problem, Carl. Now, I think you'll have to agree with the fact that if it's an emergency, you can come in. Now, that's an emergency with that water right now in these last falls. It's cutting away at the support for the bridge and the road on top. So that, to me, is a potential emergency. We maintain our property, we maintain everything, and there we're a bunch of good people, good citizens, all of us there, and we're just frustrated by that. That no matter what we do, this thing is coming. It's going to get worse.
We do not want the bridge to fail. So let's look into something, see what we can. I can't promise you anything right now. It's something we have to look into. But
Right, if we could at
there's
least
something-
maybe start with an analysis with Mr. Smythe as an engineer. I don't know, maybe there's some other plugged culvert expert in town. It ain't me.
I'll talk to Highway and our town engineer.
Well, I appreciate that.
And see if there's something we can do. All
Yeah,
right.
you know, we're good people there, and there's a few hotheads in the lane, and they say, Doc, you go down there and raise hell. Oh, what do you mean?
Hey, Doc, I got
You see, he even agrees with that. Don't raise hell, he says to me.
an important question. What did you eat at Sergio's?
What?
Oh, well, I haven't eaten dinner yet.
Oh, yeah?
No.
I mean, at Sergio's. You had
At the meeting, Doctor.
Oh, that night. No. Oso Buco.
Oh,
for you.
good choice,
Good choice.
Doctor. All right.
In fact, my newly married granddaughter, Saturday, they promised me a dinner, and so her and her husband came out Saturday. We ate at Sergio's again. We had a lovely meal at Saturday.
Right.
Oh yeah, good guy, good meal. Yeah.
good restaurant.
Right. Well, hey, look, Merry Thanksgiving.
Why?
Okay.
A little deference to the holidays.
Doc,
Thank you, Doc.
Oh, sweet.
Can I ask you to just sign in?
A tooth?
Sign in.
Oh,
Yeah. We need your autograph,
Thank you
Doctor.
so
All
much.
If I remember how to spell it, you know how to spell it.
right, Doctor.
That's
Thank you.
Happy holidays, Doctor.
Okay.
You want the J? Charles J?
No, that's okay.
Thank you.
I don't think you did that.
Yeah.
There's a small string.
It runs behind the those homes on Columbus Avenue there.
Oh, well, wait,
And
and
it
you
said
said it,
back.
you said it runs north-south? Yeah, so this looks like it runs east-west, so it's gotta be here somewhere.
It's almost like in a culvert, because he's right, you do have Clovebrook Road, and it is wooded, and people do throw trash, not only branches and leaves and stuff over the side. So I understand his point, but what can we do? We don't know.
We'll definitely look into it though.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right?
Thank you for
Thank you
joining
very
us.
much.
Thanks, Doc.
Thank you.
Right, hey, thank you for listening and so forth. I
Anytime.
appreciate it. Good holiday.
Have a good evening.
You too.
Good night.
And you too. Good.
Happy
Thank you
holidays.
for listening.
Guys are-
At this time, we're going to move on to our town clerk's report, and Danielle is going to handle this evening. Thank you.
Thank you. Received and filed preliminary budget for 2024, 5 zoning board resolutions. Alan Patterson, Stephen and Karen Petfield, Thomas J. Frawley, Danielle and Lisa Black, James and Catherine Walker. That's it for tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to council reports. Councilman Ciliano.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My report is from the Controller's Office. The following claims are submitted for town board approval. From GF accounts receivable, $2,020. From adjustment next levy, $2,871.46. From adjustment next levy school, $20,195.06. From the category of receiver of taxes, $2,625. From attorney, $11,511.76. From building town hall, $4,532.52. From special items, $112.82. From off-street parking, $1,000. From public safety, $7,082. From the category of safety inspection, $4,725. Recreation administration, $3,225. From the category of youth programs, $8,145. From general repairs, $3,035.50. From capital building improvement district, $572,142.50. From Kensico Capital Projects, $800. From the category of prepaid expenses, $2,331. From Mechanical Water District Number 1, $3,708.75. From Kensico Water, $2,271.45. From the category of trust agency escrow, $4,173. And the grand total, ladies and gentlemen, is $656,507.82. I respectfully ask the board for a motion of approval for the controller's memo, please.
Motion by Tom,
Second?
second by Danielle. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. Have an excellent evening. Happy holidays.
Thank you. Councilwoman Zano.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. Good evening, fellow board members, residents of Mount Pleasant. My first purchase order comes from our Traffic and Safety Department, purchase order 30-23-33. This is for 85 American flags with header and grommets. These are replacements for the telephone pole flags that have been damaged. Vendor is Display Sales. Total cost is $2,398. Move for approval, please.
Motion by Danielle,
Second.
second by Tom. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. My second order, purchase order also comes from Traffic and Safety, purchase order 30-23-34. This is for 12 Cooper LED post fixtures. These are to replace the street lights throughout town. Vendor is Light Concepts LTD. Total cost is $11,641. Move for approval, please.
Motion by Danielle,
Second.
second by Tom. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
My third item, also from Traffic and Safety, purchase order 30-23-35. This is for a solar radar speed sign, which will be posted on Route 120 and King Street. This includes the solar panel and battery packs. Delivery vendor is Elon City. Total cost is $3,700. Move for approval, please.
Motion by Danielle,
Second.
second by Lori. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
My next purchase order comes from our police department, purchase order 30-23-36. This is an annual maintenance agreement for the 2024 year, maintenance agreement for our PD computer software. The vendor is TriTech Software Systems, and the total cost is $35,229.57. Move for approval, please.
Motion by Danielle,
Second.
second by Tom. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Purchase order 30-23-37 also comes from our police department. This is another annual subscription. This is Planet Mobile to Mobile. Power Time subscription. Vendor is Power DMS. Total cost is $8,065.20. Move for approval, please.
Motion by Danielle,
Second.
second by Lori. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
And just go over here for a second.
That's it.
That was it. That's all I have for tonight.
Thank you. Did you want to hear Handle Jerry?
Sure. I will move on to Councilman Schulman's agenda from our Parks and Recreation Department. First item is purchase order 70-23-81. This is for gallon plastic liners for the outdoor garbage pails, push door and lids. Wausau Tile is the vendor. Total cost is $2,986.71. Move for approval, please.
Motion by Danielle,
Second.
second by Tom. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Next item is purchase order 70-23-82. These are replacement fold-in chairs with padded seats and back. Purchase will be for a quantity of 50 per New York State contract. Vendor is Kruger International. Total cost is $3,195. Move for approval, please.
Motion by Danielle,
Second.
second by Lori. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
And is that it? One more. Still getting used to the new system. Last one is purchase order 70-23-83. This purchase order is for 10 6-foot cedar picnic tables and 2 8-foot ADA accessible picnic tables for our town parks. The vendor is New York State Industries for the Disabled. Total cost is $3,211.24. Move for approval, please.
Motion by Danielle,
Second.
second by Tom. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
That's all I have.
Thank you. Moving on, Councilwoman Small.
Good evening. My report is from the Highway Department, Superintendent Rich Banquet. I have 2 items. The first item is from Nicole Tedesco, Senior Office Assistant. This is the release bond for curb cut permit number 1497. The work performed under the following curb cut has been completed and the road was restored to the Highway Superintendent's satisfaction. Please forward to the Office of the Comptroller for release of the bond. The name was JLB Homes, LLC. The bond amount was $540. The work was performed at 14 Stevens Lane in Valhalla. Move for approval, please.
Motion by Lori,
Second.
second by Danielle. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. The second item, again, from Nicole Tedesco, Senior Office Assistant in the Highway Department. Authorization to release bond for street opening permit number 6428. The work performed under the following street opening permit has been completed and the road restored to the Highway Superintendent's satisfaction. Please forward to the Office of the Comptroller for release of the bond. The name again, JLB Homes, LLC. The amount was $8,000, and this was for work performed at 14 Stevens Lane in Valhalla. Move for approval, please.
Motion by Lori,
Second.
second by Tom. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. That's my report for this evening. Wishing everyone a wonderful and happy and healthy holiday season.
Thank you. Chris, do we have anything legal? No?
Nope, nothing from us this meeting. We've been
We
bothering you
said
guys the last few meetings, so figured we'd talk to you.
Thank you. Our scheduled meetings, our next work session will be December 19th at 7 p.m. And this resolution is authorization to change the business session date to Wednesday, December 27th at 7 p.m. That's resolution 467-23 will change the business session to Wednesday, December 27th.
Move for approval, please.
Motion by Danielle,
Second.
second by Tom. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. If there be no further business from the board, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move, please.
Motion by Tom,
Second.
second by Lori. Thank you.
Thank
Have
you.
a good
night.
evening.
Good night,
Happy
everyone.
holidays.
Happy holidays.
Have a good evening. Thank you.